my name is Marley and welcome to this week's reading vlog. This week, so September 21st to 27th, I'm going to be participating in the Buzzwordathon that is hosted by Kayla over at BooksandLaLa. Apparently this is a readathon she's done for like a bunch of years, but this is the last one. But I'm pretty new to booktube, so this is my first time doing it. Basically, each time that the readathon has gone on, Kayla chooses like a buzzword and then you have to read books with that word in the title. So this time the word is night. So I'm going to go over the books that I picked from my TBR to read this week that have the word night in the title. And just a spoiler, they all ended up being thrillers. So the first one is The Night Swim by Goldin. So this is more of a recent release that I've heard a lot about. Basically it surrounds a rape case or like the trial for a rape. I think it was by like the typical like jock, like an athlete who of course everyone wants to like defend and not like accept that he did this because he has such a bright future as like, I think he's a swimmer. And then I know that there's also a true crime I can't speak. A true crime podcast throughout it. So there's this girl, I think she must be the main character, and she reports on like crimes, and so she starts talking about this rape case. And then I've heard that there's also an alternate storyline of like an older case that was never like resolved and like a potential connection between the two cases or something like that. I'm looking forward to this because it's been a while since I read any sort of like court case story. I used to read them when I would read Jodi Picoult's books. She did like My Sister's Keeper, Change of Heart, 10th Circle, The Pact, anyways, and those normally surrounded court cases. So I'm looking forward to reading another one of those. I'm assuming there's going to be obviously a lot of heavy topics with the rape cases and stuff, but I've heard good things about this recently, so I'm excited to read this. The next one I want to read is Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker, and this seems to be about two sisters who got kidnapped when they were teenagers, and how many years later is it? 3 years ago. Okay, so they're only missing for 3 years, and then one sister shows back up with, you know, stories of where she's been and what happened, why they disappeared, but something seems to be not right with what she's saying happened. I think it seems like there's a detective who is sort of questioning what she says happened to her and her sister. So that one sounds really intriguing as well. The third and final book that I almost said film because of what this is called, but book that I want to read is called Night Film by Marisha Pessl. Not really sure how to say that. In this one, a dead girl's body is found, and then it is about the detective trying to solve her murder, and he finds out that her dad works in like movie making, occult horror movie making to be specific, and it's seeming like there's some sort of connection with the dad's like movie career and like the dark stuff he's into and this girl's death, I guess. Not sure if I did a great job explaining these books. Only Night Swim, the first one, is the one that I've heard people talk about a lot. These other last two, Night Film and Emma in the Night, are both ones I haven't heard people talk about as much, so I'm just sort of going off the synopsises. But I thought they sounded very intriguing. So I'm looking forward to reading more thriller books. If you guys haven't seen my Summerween reading vlog, I would go check that out. I never remember which side. I think this one. So I read 3 like thriller horror books and I got really scared. So I'm a little bit nervous for this week because if these books turn out to be scary, then I'm probably gonna get scared again. But I don't know if any of these sound like scary. It's not like it's like a haunted house like Home Before Dark, which is what I read in the Summerween vlog. Haunted houses, like that's what would make me more afraid. Like reading about a rape case, I probably wouldn't make me as afraid just like being in my house, which is what I do basically all day. Anyway, so it's the Sunday before the readathon, and technically it's supposed to start on Monday, but I might start reading tonight because it is my birthday weekend this weekend. So I'm gonna obviously have plans, so I don't feel that guilty starting to read early. This is my 3rd readathon I've ever done, and so far I have completed like all of the books that were on my TBR and all the challenges, so I'm feeling pretty good going into this readathon. Hello, so this is my my first update for the Buzzwordathon. Even though it is day 2, I didn't get around to doing an update yesterday, but I have been reading The Night Swim by Goldin, I think it was. I managed to get to about 50% and I'm definitely enjoying it. As I already said, it's about this investigative journalist who now has this crime podcast that has really blown up. She's basically like a celebrity. For her 3rd season of the podcast, she is going to be covering a live rape trial and allowing, you know, all of her listeners to come to their own conclusions. I think her little line is like, guilty or not guilty, the podcast that lets you be the jury, like something like that. And then on the other flip side, what's going on is that there's this girl Hannah who's basically stalking Rachel, the podcaster, begging her to take on the case of figuring out Hannah's sister's death, which she believes was a murder that happened 25 years ago in the same town that the rape trial is happening in now. And we're seeing that there's some like connections between the cases potentially. And yeah, so I actually heard that people didn't like one half of the story, the one with the death from 25 years ago, and they just cared about the main rape trial happening now. But I'm actually interested in both stories. I like how there does seem to be some sort of connection between them. I definitely have my theories going on, which I'm not going to say, but I do definitely think the cases are connected, kind of. And this book is actually a little bit creepier than I thought, because even though obviously rape is very scary, it's not the same as a haunted house where I am like afraid in my own house. But there actually are some like creepy things going on with the stalking element that I mentioned, like the fact that Hannah is leaving these notes for Rachel and following her around. They're not actually like communicating like in person. Anyways, I'm not super sure what else to say other than I'm really enjoying it so far, and ideally I would finish it tonight. I think I can maybe do that because normally the second half of the book is like even more exciting and you just want to like figure out what happens. It's also very sad and upsetting. We haven't got too many really graphic scenes with like the sexual assaults, but I am assuming as the book goes on and we find out more about the assault that happened in current time and the murder, and it's looking like assault in the past, we're gonna find out more about those later on in the book, so it might get a lot more upsetting. But yeah, that's my only update for now. Hello, it is early on Wednesday morning. So what is this, day 3 of Buzzwordathon? So last night I managed to finish The Night Swim. Overall, I would say it was really good. I really enjoyed it and gave it 4 stars out of 5. I can't really remember what I said in my last update, but obviously the fact that it deals with a rape case and murder, it was definitely more of an upsetting book to read, especially reading about the flashbacks to the murder that happened 25 years ago that I mentioned that was never solved. Those scenes were really upsetting. So this book is definitely not for the faint of heart, but if the premise intrigues you that I've talked about so far, then I would definitely recommend it because it was definitely like a solid book. I was sort of onto the twists. It's not a super like twisty thriller, but I was sort of onto one of them and I guessed it, but then the final twist, I didn't really guess it, so that was fun. That was good. Anyway, so then I also started Emma in the Night last night. I'm forgetting the author right now, but that's the one where 2 sisters go missing and then the one just shows back up and everyone's wondering like where they were and where the other sister still is. The one sister, the older sister's name's Emma, the younger one is named Cass. So far we've just seen Cass show back up. We get her narration, but she's more of like a secretive narrator. Like she's not really admitting to the audience so far what has happened. We're just seeing some flashbacks to before the girls went missing, just to sort of get like a sense of what the family dynamic was. What I've found interesting so far is that one of the themes in the book seems to be narcissism, and not just like how people casually call each other like narcissists, but like the actual like mental illness being a narcissist. So that's interesting because I have not read too much about narcissism, like the reality of it and how it like apparently is kind of inherited. Like kids of narcissists will also become narcissists, so it kind of makes sense if that's the behavior you're seeing. But the two daughters' mom is looking like she's a narcissist, so that is going to be an interesting thing to explore. And then we also get the POV of the detective, so I'm assuming that's going to be more of a like main, or she's like a psychologist that works for the FBI, not a detective. I'm assuming she's gonna be like the main character who we actually get to see like everything from her, whereas, as I said, the daughter is gonna be more like a secretive narrator that we just get like flashbacks from, but she's not really telling us. But I'm only like 15% of the way through, so sorry if I seem low energy. It's like 7 something a.m. I'm doing this update before I start work. I've actually been pretty busy these last few days. Hopefully as the week goes on, things slow down a bit and I can for sure finish these 3 books, but at least I finished one. I think that's all from me now. Hey guys, it's Thursday and guess what I just finished last night? Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. Wouldn't that be fun to have a name like Wendy Walker, like with the alliteration? That would be cute. But guess what's not cute? This book. Sorry, I'm filming early again, so I'm pretty tired. I stayed up past my bedtime last night to finish this book because it's like once you reach a certain point, you just can't stop, especially in a thriller. So, what did I think? It was actually funny how similar Emma in the Night was to The Night Swim, which I guess is not surprising because they're both thrillers with night in the title, so it makes sense, I guess, that they would have similarities. But they're both about sister like pairings, where the younger sister is the one that we're hearing from, and she's kind of like telling flashbacks to like being with the older sister, and basically a lot of like effed up things happening to the older sister while like the younger one has to watch, you know. But yeah, most of this is Cass telling her mom and stepdad and telling the FBI agents about what happened to her and Emma when they disappeared, and the detectives like trying to find Emma based on her clues. And we're seeing a lot of flashbacks, as I said, to what it was like growing up with a narcissist as a mother and how that can affect the daughters. The whole family, let me just say, is like really effed up. This book, if you are someone who likes a thriller that's like messed, then I would read Emma in the Night. It might not seem like it, like, oh, look at this kind of classic cover, basic thriller. No, it's like very messed up what ends up happening, especially towards the end of the book. I would say that the last 50% I couldn't stop reading. It was like I needed to know what happened, if Cass was telling the truth about what happened to Emma or if she was lying. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, so I would highly recommend. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but honestly it would probably be close to 5 stars. Actually, I think I enjoyed it more than the Night Swim, which I was not anticipating. I thought Night Swim would be my favorite, but I just really liked the twist that this had. Throughout most of the book, I was like, I think I know what's going on. This book seems like one where it's just slowly revealing things and there's not going to be a big twist. But there actually were bigger twists at the end that I wasn't expecting, which maybe that was on me. Maybe I should have seen them coming now that I look back on it. But I don't know. Either way, I didn't. So this is definitely like a psychological thriller. I think I said that already. Yeah, it definitely creeped me out. And I was glad at the end when we were finding stuff out. I was really scared it was gonna like leave us on some cliffhanger where we didn't get everything resolved, but we did. Like everything was made very clear at the end, which I was grateful for. So that's my second book of the week. Sorry I haven't filmed any like b-roll footage, but I keep forgetting. I'm like not on my blogging game this week. I have gone on like walks into the bookstore, but I just keep not filming anything. But I don't know if anyone cares anyways. So I have one more book that I want to read, which was Night Film. Hi friends. So ignore my wet hair, ignore the fact that I'm wearing the same sweater in like every update. It's just one of those weeks. So I started Night Film, my third and final book for this readathon. It's by Marisha Pessl, and I opened it, the ebook, and I didn't realize how long it was. It's over 600 pages. The last 2 books I read were like between 200 and 300. So there's no way I'm going to finish this because it's Friday. And I read for a bit last night, I think a decent amount, and I only got to 10%. How am I going to read the other 90% in a weekend where I have plans every single day because it's my birthday? The answer is I'm not going to finish this. So I'm just going to give you my initial thoughts and then we'll see what happens after this. As I think I said in the beginning of the video, it's basically about this investigative journalist. Oh, another actually similarity to Night Swim, which we read earlier about the investigative journalist. So many similarities in these books. He had been like investigating the filmmaker Cordova, I think was the last name or first name. Last name. And basically this filmmaker makes really scary movies. There's like a cult surrounding them and it gives me really like creepy vibes. Like I feel like all the people who are his fans are creeps and they have like secret websites online to like talk about his movies and analyze them and just obsess over them. Anyways, so our main character, I think his name's Scott, was like investigating that in the past and then something happened to kind of like ruin his career. Now that filmmaker's daughter just turned up dead, they're saying that it's suicide because she like jumped off an elevator shaft. But Scott is gonna start investigating it and I assume he's gonna find signs of it being like a homicide and it not being a suicide, and that's basically it. And I'm like, why is this 600 pages? Like actually I think I do know a lot of pages will have little like fake documents of like past like newspapers like that I think Scott wrote, or fake documents of like Ashley the daughter's like police reports and stuff, and those take up like quite a few pages. I'm also sensing that this is gonna be wordier than it needed to be and just like dragged out longer than it needed to be. So my initial thoughts is I'm definitely like interested in finding out where this is gonna go with the whole cult film community, and I really want to know why the daughter Ashley killed herself, or actually like who killed her, I'm assuming will be the twist. So not sure how far I will get before the end of the week, but if I don't finish it this week, I may have to put it on pause because I have another video planned for next week, books I'm gonna read. So I would say maybe tune in to my like October wrap up. I feel like this I might have to save to be one of my like thrillers for Halloween season if I don't finish it. But the first 10%, it's okay, it's decent. It's just setup, you know. I'm gonna go. Hopefully you'll see me again for this vlog. Hopefully I'll have some more update on this book. Hello, so I just wanted to finish off this video. I did not read much more of Night Film as I predicted, so this brings us to the end of Buzzwordathon. I failed. I completed only 2 of the 3 books I wanted to read, and my main takeaway is that books with similar titles have similar contents, and I probably should have chose books that were in different genres so they weren't all so similar, because it is a little bit annoying reading books that are like so similar back to back. Anyway, I think this is like my biggest fail of a vlog, so sorry about that. Hopefully my future vlogs I'll get back on track with actually filming more updates and reading more books. Anyways, I just want to like wrap this video up and be done with it. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day. Go check out some of my other videos that are better, and bye.